You know that one friend who's like super positive and always like, you got this. This is going to be great. This is your year. This is your time. Like, let's go. That's not me. Welcome back to Read Like a Man. My name is Paige, and in this video, I want to give you 3 things that I think you need to know moving into 2026. The first thing is that if you don't become a reader in 2026, you are going to be replaced by AI. Maybe not 26, maybe 27, maybe 28, maybe 29, but you absolutely, if you want to insulate yourself from being replaceable by AI, one of the main things that you have to do is become a reader. The one thing that you have that AI does not have is a soul. AI will never have a soul. You will always have a soul. But the thing is, in order for your soul to be of much value to the world and for the world to be served by your soul, you have to develop your soul. And in order to develop your soul, you have to become a reader. It is the primary way that we have to engage with the good, the true, and the beautiful in a meditative and thoughtful and contemplative and deeply focused sense. And that is the primary way that God will use to form and mold and shape your soul. I've been doing a ton of reading and a ton of thinking about AI. I'm super interested in the whole topic because of being in tech my whole life. I'm actually currently working on some video ideas and possibly something I'll turn into a book of kind of an everyday doctrine of how we as Christians should relate to AI. There's not very many good books out there. There's one I just finished, 2084 by John Lennox. This is a great book, but it's also really, really big, and it's not a super easy one. And so I'm trying to collate all these ideas down into a kind of workable format that can really serve people as we go into this crazy age of AI. But the primary thing, if I was going to distill everything down to what I think right now, is just this idea that the thing that AI will never have is a soul. And so you have to learn to capitalize on your soul. A lot of people who are not necessarily religious will say, like, you have to become more human. You have to focus on the human traits, right? That's what they mean by that, is they mean you have to develop your soul. And again, the primary way that you can go about doing that is learning to become a reader. And so that leads into the second thing that I think you need to know moving into 2026. And the second thing is just that there are 0 valid excuses for not reading. Just to kind of give you guys a concept of my life, I don't make money from YouTube, right? So I do YouTube on the side to do all this content for y'all, but I read 139 books last year, right? I am a husband, I'm a father, I have 5 kids, we homeschool all of them, I work from home all the time, I volunteer at church, I have 3 or 4 other different jobs that I'm working trying to make ends meet. I'm studying through Hillsdale online courses, right? I have every excuse in the book, and I am just as busy as anybody out there, right? And I can still find time to read. Granted, you're not going to read 139 books in a year. I guarantee you. I read a lot faster than a lot of people because I've read a lot more than a lot of people. So I'm really good at it, right? But to say that you don't have time to read or that you can't read is just absolutely ridiculous. There's no valid excuse. My wife, who is a homeschool mom of 5 kids and does a bajillion other things, managed to read like 40 some odd books last year, right? So the thing is that in order to read, you have to give up other things, right? So I read 139 books. I watched probably 10 movies all year long, right? I haven't watched, I don't think, any shows, So there's a bunch of stuff that I gave up in order to be able to read that much. But because I understand the importance of reading and I understand that it is a spiritual practice that is necessary for the formation of my soul, I'm willing to make the sacrifices that are necessary in order to read. And that's what I want you to focus on doing this year. I need you to get that this is not an optional thing. Like, reading is like working out and being active and eating clean and stewarding your physical body well. Reading is how you steward your mind and how you steward your soul well, and it is a requirement in a well-functioning Christian life, right? It's something that you have to be doing. And so there's no valid excuse for not doing it, right? There's tons of valid excuses for not doing a ton, right? You don't have to, like I say, you're not going to read as many books as I do, but that also is not the point. It's not how many books you read. It's that you're consistently doing it on a daily basis, and you're intentionally choosing the things that you're reading, and you're choosing them with the goal of using them to develop your soul and to expose yourself to the good, the true, and the beautiful, and form and shape your soul through that. Okay. So that's thing number 2. There are 0 valid excuses for not being a reader. And that leads into the third thing that I want to talk about, which I want to make a full video on. But basically, the idea behind this is that reading just for fun is idiotic, right? And this is where I diverge wildly from a lot of the current booktube people. But so many people try to get people into reading because it's fun. They're like, oh, it's exciting, it's fun. You can read fun stories and whatever. And I love reading for fun just as much as the next guy. Like I have a whole 3 shelves over here full of Louis L'Amour. I have so many novels. I love reading reading fiction, and I love reading for fun. It is literally one of my favorite pastimes. I love reading for fun, right? But to try to encourage people to read solely just for fun or for the main purpose of it being fun is moronic. Like, if you want to have fun and you want to be entertained, right? Reading is like the worst possible thing you could do. It's so much effort. Okay. Like, if you think on this scale of like, okay, the scale of entertainment, of effort to reward for entertainment, right? It's like, well, I could read and I have to have all this focus and I have to imagine everything in my own head and I have to do all this stuff, right? And then I get this reward. Like, or, I could watch a movie and that's like way easier and even way better reward. Like, or I could play a game and that's like even way better than a movie and way more reward. Like, or I could play a game in virtual reality and that's like the ultimate kind of entertaining because holy crap, like that's freaking this immersive thing and whatever, right? And if you look at it on this scale of like how we try to encourage people to read is for entertainment, and reading is a terrible form of entertainment, right? Like, there's so many better forms of entertainment, right? And so trying to get people to read or trying to say that you should read or trying to, be like, oh yeah, pick up reading because it's fun. Like, yes, it is fun and you should do it because it's fun, but that's not the main purpose of it, right? The main purpose of reading is to develop your soul. That is what it is for. You read to expose yourself to the good, the true, and the beautiful in order to form your soul into something more than what you are right now, right? And part of how you do that is through really fun books like Louis L'Amour's that are great books to read, that are filled with the good, true, and beautiful. And they're super fun. They're so much fun to read. I love them. I sit down and read them in one sitting, right? But that cannot be the foundation of why you become a reader or why you try to get other people to become a reader. Reading just for fun is absolutely idiotic. You should read to develop your soul because that is primarily what it is for. And again, going back to that first lesson, moving into this crazy age that we're moving into, if you do not become a reader, you will not be consistently developing your soul. And if you do not consistently develop your soul and become more of who God created you to be and more of who he has planned for you to become, you will be completely replaceable by a machine, right? The only difference between you and the machine is that you have a soul and the machine doesn't, right? And that you can possess wisdom and the machine can't. That's the only two differences, right? Having a soul and actually being something made in the image of God and being able to exhibit wisdom. Those are the only two things that AI can never do, no matter what happens. Like all the things, those two things can never happen, right? So if you're going to survive, if you're going to thrive, if you're going to continue on to everything that God has for you, you have to become a reader. There's no valid excuses. Don't do it just for fun. Do it because you want to actually become who you were created to be. Okay? I think that's all I got. Love you guys. If you're still here, leave me a comment. Let me know what book you're most excited about picking up in the new year. And yeah, that's all I got for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.